Okay, so happy again because I'm getting another omnibus. But unlike last time, it's not coming in tomorrow. It's coming in on Thursday. I ordered it a bit too late. I'll tell you the whole story of why it was so late when it comes in finally. But for today and tomorrow, because I want to do it in a row, like four videos, 4 days in a row of videos, one per day. I'm gonna be doing a reading recommendation today and tomorrow, and it's just gonna be one book. In fact, it's just going to be called the book. So, Wicked and the Divine is the book, and I like the plot that they give you to this book on the back of the book right here. It says every 90 years, 12 gods return as young people. They are loved, they are hated in 2 years. They are all dead. It's happening now. It's happening again. Does not tell you does not tell you much about the book. And what it does tell you is pretty confusing. And that's what I like about this book, because it is pretty confusing. The first issue, when I first read this first issue, I didn't really like it. I thought it was too weird, it was too different. It wasn't my cup of tea. But then I read it again, and I really enjoyed it. Like, that first issue was the best issue in all of this entire book. Apparently this volume is rated pretty low. Not like super low. It's a 3.8, whereas everything else is at 4.1 and above. And that's the next volume, which I already put on Interloans. That's the whole reason why I finished it, was so I could finish it in time for for the next one to come in. And it wasn't like tomorrow. Like, if it came in tomorrow, I'd be kind of upset because I just finished it, and I do like to. It says Wicked. It just says Wicked, and one of the things that showed up was Wicked and the Divine, Riverdale. For whatever reason, it's really hard for me to say the Wicked and the Divine. It's kind of because it's a mouthful. Volume 2, Goodreads. So apparently, I think there's 9 volumes in all. I don't know if there's going to be a 10th. Yeah, because Volume 2 got a 4.1. And what I find really funny is that they have these, like, deluxe editions. They're $44.99, and it only has 11 issues. It's 2 of these, basically. And it's $44.99 because it's deluxe and it's a hardcover, so they can jack up the price. Yeah, the first volume has a 3.8, whereas the second one has a 4.1. So it must get better as it goes along, which I'm totally in for. Yeah, I found this to be really damn good. It's definitely, you can tell by the first issue already that it's not for kids. This is not a kiddie book. This is a 17 and up book. But like with most Image books, I think a mature 15-year-old will be fine with it. Like 13-year-old even. If your kid plays especially GTA, but I want to say something like a little less tamer than that, because obviously, if your kid's playing GTA, he's the most mature and he can read anything. There's nothing in that's not in GTA that he'll be surprised with. But I found this to be super enjoyable. It is a little confusing. Some of the issues were slower than others. I think the second one was the slowest out of all of them. But I'd be hard pressed to, if I had to pick the worst one, which it'd be very hard to do because there's no bad issue. It would be the second one, just because that huge cliffhanger at the end of the first volume. The second one is a lot of talking, a lot of dialogue, but it's not like it doesn't get to Brian Michael Bendis levels of dialogue. I just remember there was a lot of talking in the second issue. But all in all, I would give it a 4 out of 10. I give it a 4 out of 10. I give it a 4 out of 5 and 9 out of 10. I hate doing out of 5 because if you give it a 3 out of 5, that's way too low. And that means you didn't like it, or you thought it was okay, or you didn't like it at all. A 2 out of 10 means it's terrible, and a 1 out of 10 means it's the worst thing, and it should be a 0. Because most people that give anything a 1 out of 10 or a 1 out of 5 say, "Oh, I wish I could give it a 0 out of 10 or a 0 out of 5." That's why I don't like out of 5. It's just there's too many like rules, I guess. And out of 10, I like doing that. And the grade, I would give it an A minus. The one thing I didn't like was the pacing. Sometimes it got a little slow, but that was just the second issue. And it also was a bit too confusing for its own good. I feel like they could have explained certain things, And that's probably why the second volume is rated higher, I feel, is because they do explain more things. But they do. There are certain things that could have been better. Like they could have explained the villain. I wouldn't really say it's a villain. I would say just a character that just goes out the deep end. Um, but you understand why. Like you sympathize with that character, even if she's a bad character. Which is the best part about this book is that there's no real villain in this story. Um, just people who make terrible, terrible, terrible decisions, and they regret those decisions too. You can tell that they regret what they're doing, but they have to do it because of their motivation, which isn't totally explained. I mean, I'm sure again they'll explain it as the series goes along. Although I don't know how they're going to, without giving it too much away. Um, but yeah, it was kind of weird. One thing I didn't like was that they when the villain goes evil, there's a certain thing that happens, and it's like, where did this come from? Like, I feel like I hope it didn't, but I feel like I skipped a page, and I was like, what the hell? I don't know. Um, Part of me was a bit distracted because I'm super excited for that book to come in. So part of me is distracted, like can't wait, can't wait, can't wait, can't wait, because I can't concentrate. In fact, when I had ordered it, I was fortunate enough that I was almost the end of the issue, so I could go play some Xbox. That's what gets my brain back to functioning, and because I get weird about that kind of stuff sometimes, and I have to like get my brain to back to regular mode. It just kind of goes like crazy, and I'm like thinking 5,000 things at once. I can't concentrate on anything, and Xbox helps me gain my focus back. His hand-eye coordination, I guess you would say, has something to do with that. Very little, but yeah. Um, but yeah, definitely recommend this book. I cannot wait for the volume 2 to come in. But the reason for why I would have waited till the end of this to interloan it, but I did it after the first issue, just because it's gonna take about 2 weeks to come in. If this was any more, like if it was a 10 issue series, I would have waited until I finished it or until I was halfway through, because it does take about 2 weeks, and this is readily available. So I feel like it'd be easier for it to come in. It could be quicker to come in, and easier too. I don't know, but never mind. I was about to say something. I was about to spoil the omnibus. The omnibus is obviously, I want to keep it a surprise because it's only one book, and it's not like I have it or anything like that. But I can't wait. Tomorrow I'll be doing another reading recommendation of probably just one book. I want to keep it at one book so I can just say we're getting into the Divine review, and tomorrow's book I don't know what it will be. Probably Ex Machina. I don't know. But yeah, that's it. Definitely recommend Ex Machina. I would give it 4 out of 5 stars, 9 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. I feel like a 9 out of 10 is a bit too high. Definitely worth checking out. Definitely, it's $10, guys. $10. You can even get on Kindle Comixology, not the Image app. So Kindle Comixology, you can get the very first issue for free. So if you're unsure, get it. Highly recommend it. You can just download it. It's free. First issue of every Image book is free after a while. It takes a little bit because I don't want to make it free when it's still readily available. I would say it's about like 5 months, maybe 6. I don't know, but it doesn't take that long. But yeah, definitely a good book. It is weird, definitely weird, but because it's about like gods being as like celebrities and stuff. And there's probably some allegories that I missed, but all in all, a damn good book.